Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. In today's video we are going to be covering the ultimate wildcard ahead of a huge double game week 27. If you do enjoy the content that you see on the channel, please be sure to like, comment and subscribe, as we are super close to 800 subscribers, so it'd be absolutely amazing if we could hit that within the next week or so. But yeah, that's enough waffle from me. Sorry there was no video last week. I felt really bad all week, so I do apologise for that, but we are back, we are fit, we are healthy, and we're ready to make some FPL content, so let's just get into it. And starting off our team, we have gone for David Raya in goal. In my personal opinion, the best goalkeeper to own on a wildcard if you are looking to wildcard this week. Everton and Southampton away in game week 27. A really tasty double fixture for him as well. Sanchez's benching, surprise benching, should I say, over the weekend has really just meant that this is the way that a lot of people are going to be going with their wildcards. Get Raya in goal and have a Brighton defender like Estupinian or other options are available. But that is the way that we've gone with our team as well. Not only with the Brentford defence do you get the amazing fixture in game week 27, you also get a game in game week 28 where they play Leicester, another amazing fixture as well, and then they also have another double in game week 29. Raya also is the third highest scoring goalkeeper. This is before they have played tonight, so he could even go back to the #1 spot. And like I said, with Sanchez losing his place in the Brighton team, for me, he's a really easy, absolutely no-brainer, should be in everybody's wildcard teams. Moving into the back line, and we do start with Kieran Trippier, a staple of FPL this season. Good fixture in game week 27 with Wolves at home. Wolves don't score many goals, and they haven't done all season. Yes, they're starting to look a lot better of a side, but goals aren't something that they do. They very rarely batter teams. They very rarely score more than 2 goals a game. So even if Newcastle do concede, it's not the end of the world because they're not probably going to get battered by Wolves. With Kieran Trippier as well, obviously has a game in game week 27, something that we're looking for to avoid using our free hit so we can use it later in the season. So game in game week 28 is Forest, so again, a really nice fixture, so you're not going to have to wildcard with him. Moving on to the middle defender, and it is Estupinian, a man that I've been raving about for the past few weeks. Honestly, absolutely loved owning this guy in my team. He's the reason that I think I got to about 150k rank from about 400,000. It was all down to this man, absolutely killing it. Over the past 5 game weeks, 27 points. Good double in game week 27 with Leeds and Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace in an absolute mess at the moment. The only downside to the Brighton players is no fixture in game week 28, but the doubles in 27 and 29 definitely make up for that. Moving on to our final defender, it is Henry from Brentford. I think you could go me, you could go Henry. There's not too much in them. Over the past 5 game weeks, Ben Mee has been the highest scorer, but only by 1 point. And like we said with Raya, you do get both amazing fixtures in game week 27. Also get the fixture in game week 28, and obviously the double game week, in game week 29. I don't think there is too much to split between Ben Mee and Henry. Yes, Ben Mee does have that set piece threat, but when Brentford do play a back 5, Henry is a lot more attacking option. So I think it's very much swings and roundabouts, and for that 0.5 million, I personally would be looking to rather save the money in my team and get Henry rather than overuse my budget and go and get Ben Mee. That was the defense of our team, but let's move on to the midfield. Bukayo Saka is the man who's going to start off our midfield. Over the past 5 game weeks, been doing really well. 3 goals, 2 assists and 40 points. Really like Saka as an option as well. The most nailed of that kind of Arsenal midfielder, maybe Odegaard and him, are the most nailed within that system. No doubles coming up for Arsenal, but 3 really nice fixtures as well. Also play Crystal Palace in game week 28, and Crystal Palace haven't won a game this year. They just haven't won a game this year. I think it's like 10 without win at the moment for Crystal Palace. We're in March. Let's just get that in our heads. Crystal Palace are dreadful. We need to be targeting them ASAP. And game week 28, Arsenal do take on Crystal Palace, so definitely some potential captaincy-worthy material there in Bukayo Saka. Very unfortunate not to come away with at least a goal or an assist in the game against Bournemouth. 0.51 XG collated for him in that game. Game week 27, they do take on Fulham, who have showed a lot of resilience within their defence. However, still are the worst team on XG conceded this year in the Premier League. Absolutely defying all statistics are Fulham in terms of their defensive data, which is just crazy, really. Absolutely, really crazy. But really like Saka. I definitely think he's a player that you need to be keeping within your team. Moving on to the next midfielder. And we have gone with Matoma. Now, I personally like Matoma. I think even though he doesn't have the most amazing underlying data, he's one of those special players who just kind of breaks all the models and just absolutely slaps it. No Brighton player has scored more points over the past 5 game weeks, and a goal plus an assist against West Ham. Already spoke about with Estupinian the amazing fixtures in game week 27 and the double in game week 29. No fixtures in game week 28, which is a little bit of a, a doozy, but what can you do? We want to get advantage of these doubles rather than the blanks. So, it kind of works itself out in the long run over the season. But yeah, like I said, Matoma's underlying data isn't the best, but I definitely think he's one of those players that kind of is just an XG model breaker. He's very much a player who gets on the ball, drives, causes the opposition a lot of problems. Leeds haven't looked the best, have they? Even the new manager bounce doesn't really seem to be there. And like we said with Crystal Palace, they are fucking dreadful. Not won a game all season. You need to be targeting them. So that's a really good fixture for him and the Brighton boys. Moving on to our next midfielder is Marcus Rashford. Now, before the Manchester United demolition job, this would have been an easy pick, but now it's a little bit more of a difficult one to kind of suggest. Rashford, the second highest scoring player over the past 5 game weeks, 5 goals, 1 assist, and 45 points scored. Like I said, had looked massively just unstoppable, but it's not. I don't know, there just seems to be something now where I'm like, do I want Rashford? I don't know. We're still going to have a thought about this one. Southampton at home is a brilliant fixture. They do blank in game week 29 and then have a double of Newcastle United versus Brentford in game week 29. Not the easiest of doubles. Obviously, Newcastle in the top 4 race, and Brentford very much one of my favourite teams to watch this season. So it's not an easy double for Manchester United assets, especially Rashford, especially assessing how their mental confidence is going to be after a demolition job like that. So it is very interesting to see. But Marcus Rashford has been the most informed player in the Premier League since the turn of the year, since the return of the World Cup. So I definitely think he is a player that you need to just keep hold of for now, but there is definitely going to be room to manoeuvre him out in the long run, I do believe. McAllister is the final midfielder that we are going to talk about. Obviously, we've spoke to death about the fixtures already. Leeds and Crystal Palace, amazing. No game in game week 28 and another double. He had the most shots among Brighton players in the past 5 game weeks, playing in a lot more of a central forward position. Absolutely monstrous stats as well coming out of the game at the weekend for him. Absolutely killed it versus West Ham as well. On penalties, which is something that I absolutely adore in all my players. It's such an underutilized asset. It's been so good for me this year. The reason that I'm having such a good season is down to the fact that I am targeting these penalty takers, these talisman, as we've spoke about many a time on this channel, with the talisman theory, targeting key players, the players that you know are going to be on the score sheet every single week, or at least most weeks for a certain club. And McAllister definitely, with him playing a lot further forward, is fitting into that role very nicely. I do think there is a shout for Solly March as well. He's another player who is absolutely unbelievable, but that penalty appeal is something that I'm really, really looking for. So I've gone for McAllister over March. Let me know which way you're going with your Brighton midfielders. Let me know down in the comments below, and let me know if you need any help selecting them. But let's move on to the front line within today's squad. And starting off our front line is Erling Haaland. The reason that I've put him in here at the moment is down to that Crystal Palace fixture. I think that's one that we massively want to be targeting as well. I definitely think If you don't want to go with a Brighton or a Brentford player, potential captaincy worthy this week. Hasn't been in the greatest of form over the past 5 game weeks. 2 goals and 3 assists. And there is a massive argument to be said that you could go without Erling Haaland till around game week 30, as Manchester City don't have any doubles in game week 29 or game week 27, and also blank in game week 28. It's very much going through my mind at the moment. I could do a lot of great things, really take advantage of game week 29, have as many doublers in there as possible, really utilise my bench boost as well in game week 29 if I do look to take Haaland out or not include him on the wild card. So there's a big shout what to do with Erling Haaland. His stats haven't been the greatest over the past few weeks. Underlying data isn't quite there, but this man is just one of those players that could absolutely explode at any single point. It could easily go off for him against Crystal Palace. So I do think leave him in for game week 27. Game week 28 is then where the argument starts. Do we remove Erling Haaland from our teams? Let me know what you're thinking at the moment. I think there is definitely a shout to be had to remove him for 28 and 29. Really get as many double in for the game week 29 and utilise that bench boost to the fullest of its strength. Moving on to our next forward, and it is Harry Kane. Again, no doubles for Harry Kane in 27, 28 or 29, but a really good fixture for Harry Kane in game week 28 as they do take on Southampton. Nottingham Forest at home as well in game week 27. Another really good fixture for Harry Kane. Again, another player who's the goal and assists have kind of dried up over the past few game weeks. Only 2 goals and 1 assist in the past 5, so it is a little bit of a cause for concern. But with Harry Kane having a really good fixture in game week 28 against Southampton, potential captaincy worthy material there for that blank game week, I definitely think he's a player that you want to have in your wildcard draft. And moving on to the final player, Mr. Ivan Toney. Banner waiting coming for him, but you should be able to get through game week 27, 28 and 29 without any risks. He's another player who's on penalties, and that's something that we absolutely love, and a potential captaincy worthy player in game week 27 with that really tasty double of Everton and Southampton. We all know what this man is about. Absolute killer in front of goal, amazing penalty taker as well. Someone that you definitely want to have in your team for 27 at least. If you do want to potentially maybe look to remove him after that, I do understand obviously the ban is impending, but I definitely think you are going to get all kind of the next 3 game weeks out of the way. It's around April time is his trial, so I definitely think you're going to get all 3 fixtures out of him. But before we finish, let's have a quick run through of the bench. Danny Ward in goal. The reason I've done this is to kind of allow for potential further moves in game week 29, just save that little bit of extra budget. But I do think Kepa is a good shout as an alternative on the bench. James Maddison is purely here for the game week 29 and game week 28 fixtures. Game week 28 fixture has a game, which is something that's amazing. It means that you're going to have 10 players in this team. So, you know, if you want to remove Haaland, you've got yourself an 11-man squad for a blank game week without having to use any free chips. Also, a really tasty double in game week 29. Botman, very similar to what we went through earlier in the video with Kieran Trippier, has a game in game week 28 and a double in game week 29. And Zinchenko as well, another player who does have a fixture in game week 28. That was our game week 27 wildcard. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. If you do need any help with your team, then just leave it down there and I do answer all questions. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed today's video and good luck this game week.